This is Campus News, reporting the top stories from colleges and universities.
Next on Campus News, students and toothpicks try not to break under the pressure of competition.
Student DJs bring the feel of big city nightlife to their campus.
See what video is shaking things up at colleges across the country.
But first, MSUM tries to clean up a mess created by an admissions mistake. Good morning and welcome to Campus News. I'm Chelsea Smith.
And I'm Ezra Vandeneindy. Applying for college is already scary for some high school seniors, but imagine being accepted and then a few months later being told it was an accident.
That's exactly what happened to 232 students who applied to MSU Moorhead. Reporter Arista Serrano joins us from the admissions office with the story.
Thanks, Chelsea and Ezra. Recently, more than 200 students that got accepted into MSUM found out that they did not really get accepted because they did not meet the qualifications. Following those rejection letters, they got yet another opportunity to decide if they would like to attend or not. According to university spokesperson David Wahlberg, these students will be admitted through their participation in a required academic success program that will be modeled after successful programs at other MSU universities.
I'd rather be in a situation where we own up to our mistakes and take corrective action and let the chips fall where they may. Some folks may criticize us for making the mistake. Some folks may criticize us for this changing course of actions. Okay, so be it. In the end, it's what's in the best interest for these 232 individuals.
In order to automatically get accepted into MSUM, students must either be in the top graduating half of their class with a score of 17 on the ACT or an ACT composite score of 21. Students who don't meet these requirements can go through an individual review process. According to Wahlberg, it is this process through which admissions admitted fall. These 232 students had gone through an individual review and were automatically accepted by accident. Many MSUM students put themselves in these students' shoes and had many different reactions.
I would be very upset because I'd be happy that I was accepted and then go sad because you got rejected, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, since we made a mistake, you can still come. But I'd still kind of have mixed feelings.
If I was in their shoes, of course I want the grace. And so that they extended grace to students, that's awesome, but I hate to make it about money, but who's going to pay for like all those extra helps that we're giving these students when they actually didn't meet the qualifications in the first place?
Students who got denied after getting accepted can expect a phone call within the next few days or an email to hear about the good news. This is Arista Serrano, Campus News.
Applicants who do not meet the minimum requirements or get through MSUM's review process are encouraged to apply to MSETC and transfer later.
Concordia College will soon welcome one of the richest men on earth. Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates will speak at the Grant Center dedication ceremony inside the Offutt School of Business on April 27th. President William Kraft says Concordia was able to get Gates to come through its network of friends and supporters. Gates' address will be free and open to the public. Ticket information will be posted on Concordia's website March 20th. Money for a North Dakota State University research grant has been unfrozen after weeks of debate by North Dakota lawmakers.
There were questions regarding the legality of the funds based on the involvement of Planned Parenthood. Now that the funding is no longer an issue, the research can move forward. Mac Leeson reports.
We actually know that there are really poor pregnant.
Dr. Molly Secord Turner does most of her instruction in the classroom, but soon she'll be taking her expertise beyond the walls of NDSU.
When most people think about what do nurses do, they think that I should be working in a hospital or a clinic. But where my passion really lies is both with adolescent health and also with public health.
In partnership with Planned Parenthood, students and faculty at NDSU will work in the Fargo area on a study for at-risk youths.
So what we'll be doing is working with community organizations to identify and recruit youth who this program would be a good fit for.
Kids who maybe are borderline homeless, who maybe not in school, who may not have a strong family foundation that they're working from, kids who may be struggling and maybe falling through the cracks, who could use, the extra one-on-one work with an adult.
This is likely to meet the goals of reducing their chances of becoming pregnant or contracting a sexually transmitted infection.
Since it focuses on education and outreach, researchers say the project has practical application.
One of the most easily identifiable benefits is that we're giving youth information and skills to help prevent early pregnancy.
The program includes a number of important life skills, things like how to have a healthy relationship, decision making, planning for the future, setting goals.
The voluntary study will provide services to at-risk teens in the Fargo area. The grant will also provide student interns a chance to get field research experience. Matt Gleason, Campus News.
The $1.2 million grant will fund the research for the next 3 years. The University of North Dakota has made another name change, but this time there was no controversy along with it. The North Dakota State Board of Higher Education has approved the name change of the UND Graduate School. It's now the UND School of Graduate Studies. Interim Dean of the school, Wayne Swisher, says he feels the new name better reflects the many functions of the school. The School of Graduate Studies offers more than 100 graduate degrees and certificate programs.
Spring is coming, and that means your car may have trouble adapting to the changing weather conditions. A high school skills competition at M-State is helping students get hands-on experience. Reporter Brianne Lensmeyer tells us more.
It's a sound every driver loves to hear. But when your car doesn't start, you're going to need someone to fix it.
This is your caster right here then? No.
For Ada Borup Sr., Adam Visser, this competition showcased how much he loves his hobby.
I am a gearhead. I will say I have always been kind of fascinated by how things work and tearing stuff apart.
M-State's high school skills competition gave local high school students the experience to be tested in automotive service excellence, where they fine-tune their motor skills.
Covers every area in ASE, which is 8 areas, and we add 4 more. So it basically covers from bumper to bumper.
Students started at different stations, and when they heard the signal, they knew to begin their next round, where they could learn and gain knowledge from current M-State students.
I hope they take away an interest in continuing their future in the automotive industry.
Students like Visser were able to work with tools and equipment that they may one day be using on a day-to-day basis as full-time technicians.
It's just a great way to learn how everything works.
After a day of testing their knowledge, each student received a prize for competing in the competition.
Oh, those are nice.
With photographer Stian Michelson, Brianne Lensmeyer, Campus News.
Visser placed in the top 5 in the competition out of 24 students. When deciding on a college, many people make a list of pros and cons to narrow down their choices. Now the government is doing that for them. The U.S. government recently created the program College Scorecard. It's an online tool to help prospective college students find the right school for them. Students can see the breakdown of every accredited university to calculate size, tuition, and post-graduation employment rates. The program is free to use and is located on the White House website.
During Engineers Week, students came to MSU Moorhead to use toothpicks for more than just cleaning teeth. Reporter Brian Ashburn has the story.
Although it may not be the London Bridge, this toothpick bridge came falling down. The 38th annual Toothpick Bridge competition kicked off in MSUM's Memorial Union Ballroom. Students of all ages came from area towns and schools to enter their engineering creation.
35 students were there, and there were about 40 bridges. What they're allowed to use is ordinary round wooden toothpicks put together with wood glue, and the entire bridge can't weigh more than 0.2 of a pound and has to be at least 56 centimeters across and no more than about 30 centimeters high.
Students picked several strategies.
Just kind of put the toothpicks and then put some glue on it to be different.
Right.
And it's definitely a winner.
Cash prizes were given to the bridges that held the most weight.
How much does an elephant weigh?
Once the weighing began, students used physics, finesse, teamwork, and concentration in an attempt to delay the inevitable. Brian Ashburn, Campus News.
The winning bridge held 260 pounds before crumbling under the weight. Students at North Dakota State University got the chance to meet a nationally recognized entrepreneur at the 4th Annual Innovation Week. Dr. Randall Pinkett, winner of Donald Trump's show The Apprentice and CEO of a multi-million-dollar tech company, gave the keynote speech. During the event, young entrepreneurs got the chance to ask Pinkett questions that will help them outside the classroom. Pinkett praised NDSU for its competition devoted to student innovators.
Opportunities like this, what North Dakota State University is doing is giving these students real-world experience that will give them a leg up as they move beyond the campus.
Besides his time with Trump, Pinkett also appeared on the Today Show, Live with Regis and Kelly, and Larry King Live.
A group of MSU Moorhead students is bringing to light the reality of gender stereotypes.
The students have put together a project to raise awareness about how objectification affects women. Reporter Jackie Oman has the story.
The Sociology of Gender class at MSUM was told to do a project that involves society and stereotypes. They came up with Don't Objectify Me and decided to plan out a week to encourage students to speak up and stand for what insults them.
We just hope that more people will know what objectification is.
The group members want people to realize that gender stereotypes can affect anyone and everyone. Some of the oldest stereotypes are still appearing today.
I have a niece that just turned 4, and she has already found out that girls wear pink and they play with dolls, and boys play with trucks and they wear blue.
The group's plan is to encourage others to speak up more about what insults them and to take a stand on what they believe. All across campus, the group placed encouraging post-it notes, like this one here, to bring awareness to light.
I had no idea why they were there, but I'm like, oh, someone's trying to make everyone's day a little bit brighter.
The notes had inspiring quotes along with stickers that said, "This insults me," to encourage others to speak up about stereotypes. Students who noticed this event thought that the project was a good idea to show how gender stereotypes should be eliminated.
I don't think you should ever stereotype against gender, sexuality, race, anything. I'm a very open person about all of that.
The group hopes the awareness will become widespread and that more students will stand up for what they think is right. With photographer Aria Bowling, Jackie Oman, Campus News.
As part of Objectification Week, the group also encouraged women to not wear makeup and brought awareness to how women are portrayed in the media.
Electrical engineering is often considered a man's job, but at NDSU, one female student is showing her increasing success in this major. Nora Almron tells us her story.
Electrical engineering is one of the male-dominated majors at NDSU. A female student shares her experience and how, despite being the only woman in her classroom, she was still able to succeed.
My first class, I walked in and I was the only girl in the classroom. And, everyone's kind of scared to be your partner, and, they're just kind of taken aback by the one girl in the classroom. And then after a while, they kind of realize that you're the girl in there and you have this special power, you can multitask, and you think differently than they do.
Some of the students share their opinion on this issue.
It's not like it's a fault of the university. It would be nice if we promoted it a little bit more, but there's only so much you can do.
I think that from the females that I have met in this department, they thrive, and they would be very successful if they brought more.
Ullman stood out after her achievement and winning a prestigious scholarship.
First time I saw her face, it was on a little poster that was for NASA, I think.
I won a NASA scholarship when I was a junior here. The scholarship requirements were basically someone who is interested in becoming a professor when they graduate. And the other thing is that they promote engineering in women, that's what I'm all about. I remember calling my mom, and she started crying on the other end when I told her that I got it. So it's a big honor.
Cassandra Allman is proof that being in a male-dominated field does not limit a woman's capability of achieving her goals. With photographer Narjis Al-Bakshi, Noura Al-Omran, Campus News.
There are no female professors in the electrical engineering department. Allman hopes to come back to NDSU and become a professor. The Fargo Theater is hosting the 13th annual Fargo Film Festival, and 2 MSUM students are getting into the action. Matt Ekholm and Connor Holt were chosen among the hundreds of submissions for this year's festival. Their short science fiction movies aired earlier this week. Ekholm's film, Try Number 3, was selected for the festival, along with Holt's A Better Life. The week-long festival wraps up tonight with the Oscar-nominated short film, Death of a Shadow. Tickets are available at the Fargo Theater box office. MSU Moorhead brought a taste of the big city nightlife to its campus.
Grab some glow sticks and dancing shoes as reporter Carly Lemkuhl brings us to the big party.
With flashing lights and bass-pumping music,
These Tri-College students danced and jumped the night away at Skyline.
This is amazing. Everyone's jumped up, everyone's hyped. It's one of the best parties I've probably been to.
Organizer and DJ Eric Dale says Skyline was created to bring the electronic dance music atmosphere to the college level, and it did just that.
I actually heard a couple people when I was walking around, and they were saying that it was just like going to a nightclub in Minneapolis. It was the same kind of an experience that you would get from that, and that was a great outcome for us because that was something we were trying to achieve with the event.
Dale was one of the 5 DJs that performed at the event. He says each DJ has their own style, and they wanted to share that with the crowd.
And there's just so much energy that I was feeding off the crowd during my set, and it was just a blast.
And it was this energy that kept the DJs playing into the early morning. With photographer Aristides Serrano, Carly Lemkool, Campus News.
About 450 students showed up for this year's Skyline event.
Capturing the beauty of our region was the goal of Minnesota State University art and design professor Carl Altvedt. Now is your chance to see some of his regionally inspired work at Moorhead's Warwick Art Museum. The landscape artist's exhibit, called Observations, focuses on scenes from northern Minnesota. Altvedt says he feels connected to the light, textures, colors, sounds, and smells of the area's landscapes. The exhibit runs through March 17th, and admission is free to the public.
Imagine playing bingo without using any words. That's exactly what one group did at MSU Moorhead. Reporter Jenna Weinberger tells us more.
G56, G56.
This is a common thing to hear during a bingo game. But what if bingo were to become silent? Minnesota State University Moorhead's Dragon Entertainment Group teamed up with the American Sign Language Club to bring bingo and ASL together.
We were hoping to bring in a larger crowd to our ASL club, but also to expose and break communication barriers with students here with ASL and kind of like the proper way how to interact with a deaf student or in the community. But it was also just to have fun.
75. Students who are unfamiliar with ASL could still participate. Every table had a sheet with common ASL signs.
When we would call the numbers, we would use fingerspelling.
Many students got into the event practicing some of the signs.
63, that's what I got.
If students won, they received a bag full of groceries.
And I got cake and frosting.
The goal of the event was to raise awareness about ASL and to encourage new members to join.
So that people recognize ASL Club as more than just a club that meets once a week, that they actually have events.
With photographer Ben Gumringer, Jenna Weinberger, Campus News.
The ASL Club also holds other events like concerts, bowling nights, and bake sales. And now we throw it over to Colin Boyles for a look at this week's sports.
So I hear we've got some local athletes competing nationally this week.
Yeah, there's a few of them, and one track athlete is actually getting a national recognition before the competitions. One MSUM men's track athlete can call himself the best in the nation. Senior sprinter Derek Brady from Hoffman, Minnesota, was named the Division II Central Region Men's Athlete of the Year by the United States Track and Field and Cross Country Coaches Association. Brady recently helped his team place second at the Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference Indoor Championships. He ran the nation's fastest 200-meter time at 21.43 seconds in the prelims and ran a 21.69 in the finals to finish second. Brady won the 60-meter dash with a new conference record and took the long jump title to earn the NSIC High Point Performer of the Year. It's something that most brothers only dream of, playing the sport they love with their sibling. Being 7 years apart, MSU Moorhead's Josh and Tyler Vaughn never could experience this outside of their own backyard. But reporter Kenny Buck shows us how the two are working together for the Dragons.
Basketball has always been one of the ultimate team sports, the whole team working toward a common goal. But for Josh and Tyler Vaughn, it's now become a family matter.
We're pretty close. I see him every day for like 2 or 3 hours of practice. We haven't hung out much during the season, but we'll hang out a lot after the season. We'll come over and we'll, hang out and grill out and watch some TV or whatever.
An assistant coach for the Dragons, Josh coaches his younger brother Tyler, a freshman guard for the Dragons.
Tyler Vaughn!
Being 7 years apart, Tyler grew up watching his brother play Division I basketball across the river for the Bison.
I loved it. I loved the experience. I loved watching it. I wanted to play just like him in an NCAA tournament. And so I knew that if I came here that I'd have a chance to play in an NCAA tournament, even if it's Division II.
With the experience of winning a Summit League championship and playing in the NCAA tournament against Kansas, Josh wants to teach his team and Tyler how to win.
I just try and give input wherever I can, whether that be, during practice or stuff that I see off the court, especially when you're a freshman.
Although they're both great at what they do, each can agree on who would win in a brotherly game of 1-on-1 to 10.
Me. I've never lost to him. I'm too big for him right now. He'll tell you that.
He's way bigger than I am, so maybe he'd probably be like 10-6. I'll probably get 6 points out of him now.
From one brother watching the other from the sidelines of NDSU, the roles have reversed here at MSUM. With photographer Samuel Morse, Kenny Buck, Campus News.
The Vaughn brothers with the men's team, along with the women's team, continued their seasons in the NSIC playoffs, and with 2 wins, they could both make it to the Final Four. The Dragons hosted a doubleheader to kick off the postseason, the first time ever for MSUM in the NSIC tournament.
Carla Nelson's 3rd-seeded women facing the 6th-seeded University of Sioux Falls Cougars. Early in the first half, Megan Stracey takes the pass at the top of the key and drains the jumper over the defender. A few minutes later, Stracey dishes the ball to Morgan Zabel, who drives to the hoop, gets the basket and the foul, starting a 12-4 run to end the half. Good ball movement here. 3 players touch the ball before Zabel finally gets it to Charette. Gets the 3 despite the contact, converts the 4-point play to put the Dragons up 12. They would go on to win it with a final of 62-50. The 4th-seeded Dragons men brought a 2-game winning streak into their matchup against the 5th-seeded Southwest Minnesota State Mustangs. It didn't take long for the Dragons to get on the board. Jordan Reaver through the lane and puts up a soft shot for 2. 9 minutes left. Tucker bringing the ball up court, gives it to Reaver, driving in the lane and throws up a prayer. And it goes in to bring them within 3 of the Mustangs. Later, Tyler Vaughn to seal the game, and it goes to put the Dragons up 9. MSUM would go on to win it 87-78.
Both Dragons teams then went down to Minnesota State Mankato, but weren't able to keep their momentum. The men played first, but fell 87-63, ending their season at 19-11. The women followed, and MSU Mankato took that one as well, 75-57. The women finished their year 16-12. The NSIC championship games will be played tonight in Rochester, Minnesota. 22 years ago, United Blood Services and North Dakota State first began a tradition that pumps through their veins. The annual Bison Blood Drive helps the university and community give back to those in need.
Without any action on the court, one might think work has stopped in the Bison Sports Arena. But tucked away under the almost 1,800 upper deck seats, plenty of work of a different kind is going on. Leading those in the door are the Bison athletes themselves, recruiting volunteers to come in and donate blood.
I think it's a really cool idea to get all the athletes to try and find someone or to donate themselves, because then you for surely get all those people to donate.
Coaches for the 16 sports hold their athletes accountable to recruit at least one person to donate. The recruitment process not only helps the United Blood Services, but also gets the Bison athletes into the Fargo-Moorhead area. Some students that were recruited say the system that NDSU has been doing for 22 years now changes the lives of not only those who will one day receive the blood, but also those who give it.
They have a pull, or they have a weight to what they do and what they say. And when you just walk up to random people, not only are you making a friend, but you're making an impact, however big or how small that is.
Some of the athletes that donate themselves ultimately have their own reasons for giving.
You never know what's going to happen, and if someone else like me or someone in my family or friends would ever need it, maybe they won't get my blood, but I know I made an impact and helped someone else out.
So what may seem as more of a beneficial situation for those who receive the blood turns out to be an impactful event for them all.
Director of Women's Athletics, Lynn Dorn, says one student athlete recruited about 30 people to donate. You know, I got to give it up to those athletes. I am deathly afraid of needles.
Yeah, and they sure got a good turnout there.
Thanks, Colin.
YouTube, it's the birthplace of the most viral videos of the past decade, and now it's presented us with yet another, the Harlem Shake. College students across the country have made it into an instant sensation, including right here in Moorhead. Ross Torgerson has the story.
First, there was this. Then, we had this.
Oppan Gangnam Style.
And now this. The Harlem Shake. The Harlem Shake. With the video being so popular among high school and college students, Harlem Shake videos are continuously popping up all over social media. The Harlem Shake video has spread like wildfire through social media sites such as Facebook and Twitter, but we took to YouTube to find out just how popular it really is. To find the video online, just simply click on YouTube, find the search bar, just type the letter H, and sure enough, there it is. And just by clicking on it, you'll be able to view more than 250,000 Harlem Shake videos. Despite its popularity, reactions to the Harlem Shake among college students are mixed.
I think it's absolutely crazy.
I think it's getting overplayed.
I think it's outrageous. I mean, I love it. I mean, it's fun.
Some, believe it or not, were just seeing it for the first time. What do you think about that after seeing it for the first time?
What's it doing in here?
That's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome.
Cool. Yep.
That's neat.
Would you guys do one?
Sure, I would.
Sure?
Sure.
MSUM basketball fans did one at halftime of a Dragon men's basketball game. Assistant Athletic Director of Marketing John Webking, a former Dragon basketball player himself, organized the halftime event as a way to attract more students to attend one of the last home games of the season. And boy, did it work.
We just thought, why not? It's the biggest stage. Obviously, here you have to do it indoors. We were already making a push to get a bunch of people there, and to help get people there and to give them something fun to partake in together that we could put online and be proud of, and just another excuse to act crazy.
But is the Harlem Shake you're seeing in the videos really the Harlem Shake? One student says they've got it all wrong.
They're doing it wrong. They're doing it wrong.
Can you demonstrate it for us right now? With photographer Catherine Beneby,
that's the Harlem Shake.
Ross Torgerson, Campus News.
According to YouTube, the Harlem Shake videos have more than 200 million combined views. And that's it for this edition of Campus News.
We leave you with another look at the loud music and bright lights of Skyline.
Thanks for joining us, and have a great week.
Campus News was produced by the Television News Workshop in the Department of Mass Communications at Minnesota State University Moorhead, in cooperation with Prairie Public Television.
Barbra Streisand.